All right, well, I started filming.
You want to get a lot of views? Start talking about Dogecoin.
Nah, man. We gotta talk about Rule of Rose coin.
Throw Dogecoin in the title.
I can
Want
do
to get
that.
like thousands of views.
But I'm more of a Rule of Rose coin kind of channel. Rule of Rose and Kuan coin and what else coin?
Juan?
What other coin?
Yeah.
Crusader of Senti coin.
Ethereum.
Speaking of Kuan coin, Devin, do you remember seeing?
What's that going for?
I think like 7 CIB. It's definitely like blasted past Rule of Rose where people respect it more because it's rare.
Rose is the same.
It's probably very similar. I think Kuan might have it edged out by like $100 or so. And I think everybody that wants to go for Rule of Rose is realizing that Kuan's the rarer piece of the two.
Rarer.
You remember seeing Kuans back in the day?
$3.99?
$3.99 or $3.99, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Where did we always see them?
GameStop. We're always in the little disc bin.
I always remembered them at Blockbuster, man.
Oh, okay.
Back when we were buying like Grand Theft Auto 4s for like $7.99 when they were blasting them out.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to our flea market shop and sell them for like 20 or 25. Just whatever we could get away with. I remember that time where it was like, we'd try to get 30, but hey, if we had to settle for 20 because we bought a ton of them.
We had to underprice it to move that much quantity is what happened.
Yeah.
If we were trying to charge like 30, 35, we could have gotten it for some, but not sold out.
Yeah, we wanted to move them because we knew it was coming down.
Yeah.
This is Devin. I'm not going to say anything more about Devin. There's people on YouTube that are corrupt.
But I remember like going through the disc only bin at GameStop and Kuan being in there, and it would always stand out to me, and I would just like toss it back in there.
I remember there's something about that cover art to me that just screamed like stupid. I don't know, I just thought it looked dumb.
Stuff on the disc.
Is that H-Tech?
It's H-Tech, and it was, I believe it's FromSoft. It was at a time where like video game resellers, like Devin and I, we were both teenagers at the time, we would totally judge books by its cover, kind of go off of what was already established. So if it was like Suikoden 2 and Valkyrie Profile, right? You know, for like your $100 games that were somewhat obtainable. And so, you know, you'd just be on PS2, you'd be looking out for those anime covers. I remember like Disgaea 1. That one actually, before it got reprinted to shit, was like a 70, 80 or, you know. So there was just a certain rule that you would follow, you know, when you didn't have much, I guess, hindsight or whatever, you know. We're only a few years into buying video games to flip.
I mean, every anniversary when that Facebook photo pops up in my closet in college, like I get reminded of what we used to seek out, and it was always just anime cover stuff.
Yeah.
MS Saga, Suikoden 3.
I was gonna say Suikoden 3. We had piles of because get them for $19.99, buy 2 get 1, and we just load up on that game and make tiny little margins on it.
Fighters, Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yep.
Just all that stuff. Radiata Stories. I don't know.
Yeah. Xenosaga 3 was one of those titles where every single GameStop, they must have reprinted. They did, because they had that
Radiance at the same time. They both got like reprinted.
Dude, I've told my Path of Radiance story several times where my best buy 2 get 1 ever was 3 copies of that game, all $12.99 each.
Is that like $400 on Amazon now? CIB?
Don't tell me.
Path of Radiance?
I would guess 3.
I feel like eBay's pretty close to that too.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were with the homie Cris and Devin, by the way. Just chilling.
This is a rare meetup.
Yeah. Just talking video game stories.
Yeah, well, I try to hang out, but Dave's hard to convince.
Yeah, I'm a hermit. You remember back in those days, titles I was going after? Let's see how good I was at speculative upside. Do you remember how many copies of Tron Bonne I had?
Yeah, you had 3.
I was using company money too. Devin and I were split on this money, so Devin was mad at me.
I was getting mad,
yeah.
I mean,
because I was buying them for what, $40 a piece for nice CIB with bonus disc, Tron Bonne.
Around that,
Yeah, we were just making $20 per. I mean, and we had to deal with salty collectors at that time.
It's not like we had savings built up either. It's like we needed this money, you know, it had to be like liquid. So
but you got to understand, Devin, I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was in it for 18-year upside. That was what I was looking for. Back in 2006, I was looking for 15-year upside. I knew what I was doing. We just had to hold it for 15 years. We would have been
Should've
very
been
good.
Buying CID Game Boy.
Hey, what was the PS2 game that's now worth $5 back then that was going for $90?
Some racing game, probably.
Karaoke Revolution Country.
That's exactly what I knew he was gonna say.
Was
Yep.
that Konami?
Konami, yeah. Karaoke Revolution Country for a hot season.
Or Gallop Racer 2006 was kind of pricey.
Yeah, that was
that
a strangely 45er.
Formula One on
Formula
PS3. That was money.
That was an oddball one.
Um,
Remember when Guitaru Man was 160?
and then it
Back
kept
when,
crashing down,
yeah,
and then now
got
it's back up
reprinted.
again.
Reprinted to shit.
Yeah.
Nocturne. We had a bad buy on Nocturne.
Yeah.
The first print had that soundtrack, and then like the week it got reprinted, we were like, we could buy sealed copies.
Yeah.
We just loaded.
They
We
were
bought.
70 a piece, and we realized, we messed up.
We fucked up.
So I think we returned them or something. Or no, like
we
flipped them.
quick flipped them, and we made
At
a.
a loss.
No, we made a little. Maybe fees.
You saw them at Flea
brought us
Market?
With fees, we had a loss.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I think
sure
I
we.
sold them for the same price, but with fees.
I think we came up ahead on it.
When did you start Amazon?
Where are you going with this? Because we got to keep this entertaining.
Years ago, maybe?
I have to keep this entertaining. This is for other people.
7 years ago.
Gotcha.
7 years ago on Amazon. What about other historical, interesting stories?
I mean, we remember picking up a roll of rose for $7 at a pawn shop, just to sell it for what, 30?
I want to say we probably got 40 or so.
Yeah.
I just remember it was like one of those where it was shocking that a year went by and it was going pre-owned for close to what we consider like an MSRP for a PlayStation 2. It was like close to 50.
Yeah.
Seen on eBay like 45 kind of thing. And it had been out for a year. So that's a little bit of history there. It's like Rule of Rose never got cheap.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, a lot of times people will think that they know when a $50 game comes out. They're like, that's going to get collectible. And then they wait for it to bottom out. They wait for like 20 or 25. That's when they want to buy copies. Like sometimes a lot of these really pricey
Never
games,
gets there,
just pre-owned, just such a low print run that.
And then you get a FOMO to buy it up. That's what's happening with Downpour right now. Silent Hill Downpour.
Silent Hill Downpour, yeah.
Like, everybody's waiting for it to crash to 20. It never got there. I started buying it
True.
at 27, 28. And then it took off to like 75 now.
Didn't it crash down to like 15 or so at some
I don't
point?
think it
Maybe
ever
pre-owned
got-
copies
Maybe it did. Maybe it did get
for a
there.
hot month or two.
I mean, I felt the bubble in the PS3, and I was like, hell, I'm gonna pay 27 a pop for those.
Yeah.
PS3 exclusive, right? Or
It's on Xbox too. Yeah.
You know what? Another game I think of, and I tend to like this formula when a game just never was cheap and it was just hard to find. It wasn't even that old, and now it's a grail. Is Blood Will Tell. Like that was one that way back in the day. It wasn't that old, and it was just a well-known. Like, look out for this game. You don't see it very often.
And I'll say by far, that's the title that the most people would contact me on eBay and ask, hey, how's the condition? Is
Ooh.
it pristine?
Yeah.
Every single time.
Kind of
I
an
say that,
X-rental factor, maybe.
Every single
I'm
time.
telling you.
It's never like that with any other game.
Yeah.
Rule of Rose, Haunting Ground, anything. No one ever
You're right.
cares that much.
It's like people really want that upgrade
Blood
from
Will
their
Tell,
copy.
For whatever reason, I've been contacted 4 or 5 times, like messages like, hey, I want to buy this game, but is it pristine? I want it pristine.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is weird.
Chris, when you agree, that just sounds like a rental factor, like for people to be in that position. That's what I think. Chris doesn't agree.
that's an
I need
interesting.
some more bug spray on my arms.
We don't got enough light. I want to film Scrimmy. You got a flashlight? Yeah, let's see him.
His
There he
natural
is.
habitat.
There's little Samson. Here he is. What else? What other interesting stories?
I gotta look
What
up
other
the
interesting
one.
perspective? How about when Rhapsody was the end-all, be-all, holy grail of PS1? Do you remember that, Devin? That might have been
That
right
was
when you were
before
getting
me,
in.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, because you and I got into it in like 06, and I want to say that was maybe like 05 that game got reprinted.
Yeah.
But one of those classic cases of suddenly, this is before like social media was really big for sharing information. You'd have to be on forums and stuff, but like suddenly a $160 pre-owned CIB type title is just available in brand new seal removed condition at almost every GameStop you go to.
Yep.
But when you're a young teenager and you're just popping in, riding your bike to the mall, and you go in there one day, there's Brigandine, Mint,
Yep.
like new condition, and then there's Rhapsody and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment.
Yep.
And these are all like games that are like, oh my god, I can make an easy, cheesy, $50 on.
Yeah.
But by the time you run to eBay, you realize there's a shit ton listed.
Yep. It's flooded.
Yeah, so there was like your very first wave of
Yeah.
retro, very expensive, rare games
Yeah.
getting, in hindsight, small reprints, enough to like tank it in the moment. And most people wouldn't even see it. There's no price charting history to really show that those games ever fluctuated like that. But
Yeah.
it's so weird. Of all the games that are like got reprinted, most of them have rebounded like crazy. I think even Guitaru Man has like rebounded a whole lot. But like Rhapsody is one where it's this like that was your clear shot number one PS1
Yeah.
title, and how bizarre for it's probably like number 80 on the list, from top down of PS1.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, pretty much all those titles rebounded that got reprinted. That's why I expect Calling to eventually be a
Calling on the Wii.
I feel like
Good shot call.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
with time, people forget. New people enter in and they don't know about the reprint, or people forget
Yeah.
about the reprint somehow.
Yeah.
The only game that didn't work out was Radiant Historia on DS. That's the only one that's still cheap today that never rebounded.
Yeah, it's almost like the 3DS superior version.
that's why.
Possibly. My guess is that the 3DS version is
Yeah,
just
I think
superior.
the 3DS one's 100 plus right now.
Ooh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow, so that stole the thunder.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that game would have been golden if it had just been a one and done reprint or print run.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the
original
DS,
one. Oh yeah.
because it had a soundtrack in Outer Box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it get a reprint though, where it was
Yeah, that's what I'm
without
saying.
that shit?
It couldn't rebound from the reprint.
Gotcha.
It's still like 20 new, I think, online.
Holy.
But at one point, it was like $75 on used condition on eBay. This was back when it first came out.
And you know what? Without that 3DS remake, I'll bet you it would have rebounded
Oh, yeah.
from that reprint.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
An interesting thing I've just thought of was I was checking in, getting bit up by the way.
Yeah, I need to go get some more.
Yeah, bring it out. Share the wealth. I'll share this with Cris. Well, I want Devin's perspective on this too.
I was just realizing that I'd never seen or even knew what system Blood Hotel was on.
What?
Yeah.
It's Red Entertainment, man.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's
Cool that Sega Thunder.
Red Entertainment, same guys that did Hagane, Spike McFang, Air Zonk. On PST when they went like polygonal,
Yeah.
they did the two Gungrave games. One was Sega, one was Mastiff published. And they did Bujingai, that one weird based on a J-pop star. And so they're all similar. Like these are third-person action, flashy, stylish games. Devil May Cry inspired maybe. And then Blood Will Tell was another Red Entertainment game. So it's just like Red Entertainment has usually it's publisher that correlates with value. It's like, oh man, all those Atlas games, all those Working Designs games. But it's like interesting how Red Entertainment, your developer there with Red, you just follow that developer and it's like you see value there.
There are quite a few seals undersold, like 700, 400
For Blood?
CIBs.
Ooh,
And current
I
eBay
love that
pretty dry.
investment.
There's an X rental disc only. and
Yeah,
there's a
like we were
CIB,
saying.
That's it.
Condition, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
think, I gotta
I
spray
hate
myself down.
Spraying myself.
I really think Blood Will Tell is a good investment piece.
Yep.
What do you think about Blood Will Tell as an investment for $400 for a nice CIB?
I don't like it.
Oh, you're conservative.
I'm more of a value stock person.
Yeah.
That's like in the stock market. I don't touch Tesla and all those high flyers. Nvidia, they're 500 a share or thousands a share. I like the value stocks. I like the stuff in like the teens.
Well, let me talk about stuff in the teens, as I got like 5 minutes left in this video. You know what surprises me? It must be just massive reprint runs, but like Persona 3 FES, Persona 4 on
Oh, yeah.
PS2.
I love those. Absolutely.
Do you for upside?
Oh my God.
Even though they seem like everyone, of course, like me, would be scared off of buying into them because it's like they seem bountiful, they seem unlimited supply.
They're drying up quick. You can tell like a lot of the sealed like warehouses are starting to up their price. I want to say FES is like $30 on Amazon and stuff.
Which still seems like so cheap that like I'm afraid that they have bajillions. But you're
Yeah.
saying it seems like it's the trend upwards from how cheap they once were just a couple years ago.
I expect,
Weren't they like 12ers, free shipping
yeah,
kind of?
Yeah. I expect
Dirt.
FES to eventually be 150, 200.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Take that to the bank, Devin the Master saying that.
I mean,
FES.
the demand behind it is ridiculous.
Is there anything to be known about these reprint FESs? I mean, is there like no manual or anything like that? Or I'm guessing it is manual
The
and
case is thinner, you know, it's that recyclable
Yes.
case, thinner case, so you can kind of like squeeze it, you know, it's not rigid.
but otherwise not much of a compromise, right? Like
No,
decent
it's
manual.
the same. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same game.
And Persona 4 has 2 discs, right?
Yeah, soundtrack.
Wow, I mean,
Which
this
all the sealed ones have that. Yeah.
dirt cheap for what it is.
Yeah.
Digital Devil sagas. Is there Summoner? The
So
Saga 1 and 2 are dirt cheap, I noticed. Summoner 1 is big money. Rizo.
yeah, Summoners are expensive already, which they got reprinted too at one point.
I know. I
They were
remember that.
cheap.
Even Rizo got reprinted.
Yeah, they were
Crazy.
super cheap, and then look at back up.
Yep.
Digital. The thing is with the personas in digital is who knows how long it's going to take to get there, but eventually they will be $150, $200 a pop.
Mm.
There's no doubt about it. Like it, eventually they're going to get there. It's just.
Well, let's
how long.
speculate. Say, only got a few minutes here, but like say PS5 comes out with like the ultimate SMT collection.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that a combination of new old stock present on PS2 and like, you know, something like a re-release remaster, the combination of that two might just bury it and make
It
it.
could, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
if it
kind of
plays
your
just
risk
as well.
factor
Yeah.
that you just got to
That's why
think
I'm
about.
not going head over heels with it. I'm not going to buy them up.
True.
I have a stock of like maybe 20 copies of each, you know, of all the games. I have like 20 apiece, but I don't want to go like too heavy into it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, they're reprinting Nocturne. By the way, they're remastering Nocturne.
And then okay, so decent takeaways like that's the game that Devin and I went crazy about when we first saw that reprint.
Yeah.
We were like, holy shit, because this game was going for well over 100, like 120, 150.
Yeah.
It was almost like name your own price. It was so spicy. People were just going nuts speculating on it. Then the reprint hits. But what never got reprinted was that soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you get the double print, which has a slightly different case insert, and this is all becoming a thing in the WADA age, where it's like, let's look at that case insert. Is that the first print?
Oh my god, yeah, that was for a lot.
And
If you had a factory sealed one that had the soundtrack included inside of it,
Did
that's a
reprint
true
have
first
security
print
seal?
Nocturne.
Probably not.
No, it did not. It did not have
That's
security
pretty
seal.
big.
100% reprint didn't have
Did
it,
not. So if you have a
the
first
OG,
print
yeah, the OG
with the
did have
security
it.
seal of Nocturne,
That's a good, easy,
That's gonna be-
easy distinguishing.
there you go.
factor.
Yeah, for your
the
WADA
case is
sealed
more
guys.
rigid too. You can't squeeze that one.
Oh, okay.
And also on the back it does say soundtrack
Like,
included.
Did the
But even going pre-owned, I think like good investment for how just ambiguous it is, how much of a sleeper it is to
It's
see
like
this.
$10 more to get the soundtrack.
Exactly. So it's
One.
like
You just have to find
that's
it.
a good one to go
Yeah,
for.
that's cheap.
Hey, you got 45 seconds. Any final words, Chris? What would you buy right now if you could buy anything?
Jack Bros, but it's already gone.
We've been saying that for too long. Give an option B. What else?
Don't
Toxic?
chase.
Toxic
It's
Yeah,
NES?
Toxic
undiscovered.
Crusaders.
NES, CIV?
Yeah, NES.
How about you, Devin?
And Game
Silent
Boy.
Hill Downpours.
Oh,
You
you
chill.
such an Amazon seller, such a con seller.
Homecoming's still dirt cheap. Buy Homecoming too.
That's a little better buy. For me, fuck. Put myself on
Dude,
the
that's a hard
Panzer Dragoon
question.
Saga. It's so
Hard
cliche. So cliche. The game's gonna go 5K, man.
Yeah, Jack Bros is going 5K too.
Yeah, it will.
Loose carts 1,000.
I want something
Confirmed.
spicier. Project Horned Owl.
Hey.
Fucking.
A